Oenomus, aware of Hippodamia's horror of Pelops, refused to compete with the unworthy suitor. Yet Pelops persisted in his appeal. Confident that such a deformed creature could not command a chariot at full charge, Oenomus finally accepted the challenge. As a courtesy, he invited Pelops to use the facilities of his stables, to rest and feed his horses overnight, and prepare his chariot for the contest. During the darkest hour of the night, Pelops, resting in the warmth of the stable, heard soft voices, whispers from the shadows. He crept to a dark corner and, recognizing the voices of Hippodamia and Myrtilus, her father's charioteer, listened to their conversation. What he heard gladdened his heart. It transpired that Myrtilus had long harboured an affection for Hippodamia, a remote and private love which Hippodamia was prepared to exploit. If, she proposed, Pelops won the race, then, rather than chance gestating a deformed progeny of the monster, she would offer her virginity to Myrtilus to ensure the purity of her heir. Myrtilus hesitated. Hippodamia departed the stable, and Pelops stepped into the light. He enticed the king's trusted friend with a tempting deal. In exchange for the intervention of Myrtilus in securing victory in the race, Pelops would grant him half the kingdom, plus the wedding night with Hippodamia. Myrtilus equivocated, and Pelops knew that his triumph was secure. The next morning Pelops drew his chariot to the steps of the palace in readiness for the race. Hippodamia refused to step into his chariot, as was custom, but remained aloof at the top of the steps. Myrtilus drew up in the king's chariot and, under the pretence of a final safety inspection, removed the bronze pins that affixed the wheels to the axle and replaced them with counterfeits made of beeswax. Oenomus descended the steps of the palace and stepped up onto his chariot. Taking the reins, he wound them around his wrists, creating an unbreakable bond between himself and his frenzied, enraged steeds. The structure of the contest compelled the challenger to strive towards Corinth and gain the first bend in the road before the king enjoined in deadly pursuit. Oenomus stood poised, his whip raised high, and signalled for Pelops to depart. He watched his adversary speed towards the first bend, then steeled himself for the pursuit.